You think this was a good hire?
It's not my worst hire by any means.
Dude, Mike McCarthy. It's such an uncreative, lame.
That's true.
Oh, we need to hire a coach. We got to hire someone that people know. Otherwise, everyone's going to get pissed at us when this doesn't work.
Correct.
At least we could pretend that, well, we thought it would work because he was a successful coach with the 2 franchises he was with before. The third time around is such a stupid. If you have to say this is the third place that he's coached, he's not Bill Parcells. This is so stupid. He won 1 Super Bowl, but here's the biggest problem that comes with all this.
Okay.
He was successful with Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
He was successful with Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
He has never had to build up the foundation of a team and to build them towards success. If anything, we saw an example of a regression that he had in Dallas with the way that he finished up.
It's terrible.
I don't think a lot of people realize the undertaking that is ahead for the Steelers. This is a really good roster, but it's an aging roster. The most important aspect of this is that they don't have a freaking quarterback.
Yeah, that hurts them.
Even if Aaron Rodgers comes back, which I know that he was asked about it during his opening presser, that's not a long-term solution. This is, I would argue, the worst quarterback situation in the NFL because you are sitting in the 20s for a pick. What is Malik Willis? Is that what's going to save you? That is your best option.
Oh.
Russell Wilson, you going to bring Russell Wilson back?
I would not do that.
Marcus Mariota is also a free agent. You going to go get Marcus Mariota?
He's not so good.
And Daniel Jones is the only other option, and he's probably going back to the Colts.
Could they pull Derek Carr out of retirement?
God, could you imagine if that was their solution?
Mike McCarthy, Derek Carr, 2026 on the Steelers.
No.
Let's make it happen.
I think a lot of Saints fans would say that they would rather the Steelers stopped existing than watching Derek Carr.
Screw you.
Play
saw
their
Phillip
team.
Rivers re-enter the league this year. I want to see
Rivers
Derek Carr get into
more cerebral, 10 times more cerebral, and probably had the same amount of arm strength as Derek Carr did in his last year.
Who's more godly, though? You know, Pittsburgh's a religious town.
Is it?
Yeah, pretty religious.
Look, at the end of the day, I think that this is multiple years of maneuvering to figure out what you're doing at quarterback. You might not have your guy for 2 years, and I just don't see McCarthy. You needed a team builder. You needed somebody who was going to execute early success and also establish a transition at quarterback. And I don't think that Mike McCarthy is going to be able to do that. They're going to do multiple duct tape jobs over the next 3 years, and then they're going to fire him.
It's going to be a bummer because one of the best parts of NFL lore and Steelers lore is like their head coach history, where it's, they just have so few and they ride out for so long, and it's always captain success. They all have Super Bowl wins there. Like there's a legacy of being a Pittsburgh Steelers head coach. Mike McCarthy, I think, could have done it and could have done well if he hadn't done Dallas and they just got rid of Tomlin and did that switcheroo where it was just more time on the clock for him to get situated and build something up that was strong. 62, it's not the oldest in the NFL. We had Carroll at 73 last year, so you got a decade basically to you're capped out to last year's highest or most aged coach. I don't hate it, though. I just don't. Mike McCarthy at least wins. He at least wins ball games, but I would have rather seen him go make a collective unit of a team that is undisciplined or underperforming, or they're just young and they need to learn how to become NFL players in an NFL team, than jump into the Steelers who just need a bit of the resuscitate. You need to resuscitate. You need a quarterback. I don't think Mike McCarthy's that guy.
That's my point.
Which is kind of concerning, but it's fine. He's a Pittsburgh guy. You don't like that he's a Pittsburgh guy going?
I think that they got duped into that. I think that they got sold into. They were easily duped into thinking that was so meaningful and key that he's a Pittsburgh guy they had to hire him for the connection. I just don't believe that this is something that produces long-term success.
They should have hired Flores. Flores could have been there for 10 years, could have taken a couple cycles to get the right OC and quarterback, and they'd still be playing good defense.
Yeah, I think the Flores Flores is going to be one of those guys eventually when he gets another head coaching job and he's away from a bad franchise.
Yeah,
that he'll be a good coach. What's your worst hire?
John Harbaugh.
Okay, wait.
For the narrative,
dude, you can't freaking say what you just said about McCarthy and then think that Harbaugh is a bad hire.
I didn't even get a chance to explain.
Well, you're saying stupid shit.
Well, yeah, I didn't even get a chance.
You're just saying, go ahead, explain.
Well, I just don't like the hire because of the narrative. And they're calling him the next Tom Coughlin.
They're
calling him the next Tom Coughlin, Joe.
Because you're salty that your team didn't get him?
A little bit.
Oh.
Atlanta needed a Coughlin. We didn't need Stefanski. You guys needed Stefanski. Don't. Look.
Don't get jealous.
I am jealous, and I'm jealous that they're just completely misreading what John Harbaugh is going to be with the Giants. If he starts off 3-0, they're going to throw a parade. They're going to lose 6 games. It's an unserious, unfocused organization.
It's the most adult decision that they've made since Coughlin. Coughlin, do you understand that Coughlin literally was the one who pushed for this to happen too? He kept parading ownership to hire him.
His legacy will be preserved when John Harbaugh comes in there.
Oh, you're an ass. What's your real answer to
this?
It's
LaFleur. It's LaFleur in Arizona. Just because they were last of the draw. You were last of the draw. You got the run to the litter pick. And I don't think you made a very good pick. I don't think it was very savvy of Arizona. It didn't make a splash. It didn't make an impact. It's a guy that's going to spend 2 years there. Once they decide on the quarterback, then he's gone. It could be one. If it's 1 more year of Kyler or 2 more years of Kyler, then that's 1 year or 2 years of LaFleur, unless it's a miracle with him. Third runner-up, Joe Brady. Joe Brady, cried in his head coach press conference. Always going to not like that.
That's your take.
It's also my first time seeing Joe Brady talk and seeing how he interacts and speaks. I am concerned.
Last coach you did this for took his team to the playoffs in a Mr. Liam Cohen.
Cohen was different. Cohen was like, I'm nothing. I'm not a football guy. I'm a dorky guy. Joe Brady feels like I'm a football guy. I don't have a brain up here. I know he does. He's fine on the offense, but I just did not like the Sean McDermott firing. And then we're going to elevate this goofball. So he feels like a goofball, Joe. That's what I'm saying. Okay. It's honestly, he feels like kind of a goofball.
I'm glad that you put this down because this was going to be my honorable mention that I was going to bring up. I think that Joe Brady is going to be a great coach. And I actually think that there's a chance that this probably works.
He's got Josh Allen.
And it's the endorsement and the connection of working with Allen and the success that he had with him running the offense, even with limited receiving options. But the problem is you can't fire the head coach off of the premise of you weren't getting where you were trying to get to and then just turn around and hire the offensive coordinator.
No.
If you have the mentality here and the approach for the decision-making is why this is stupid. You can't look to clear house and reset culture and then just keep the same culture there. You can't do that. This is constantly one of the dumbest things that franchises do when they do the internal promotion. Ben McAdoo says hi. I'm just saying that you can't expect some sort of massive shift in the identity of the team when you're promoting somebody that was just a part of the last regime. It's flawed logic. I would have much rather Joe Brady have been a head coach somewhere else. I was hoping that Brian Callahan would have gotten fired and Joe Brady would have been, or not Brian Callahan, Zach Taylor would have been fired and Joe Brady would have been the Bengals head coach. That would have been sick.
That would have been awesome.
But
there's a lot of goofballs in Ohio that talk like Joe Brady and they would have clicked.
Okay, man.
Come on. That
Blake's
matters to me.
Shoot you.
Yeah, Blake's got boys that talk like Joe Brady.
All right.
It feels a little GM though with this decision, where I feel like Josh Allen had some say in it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I like Joe."
Well, he apparently didn't have. He was a part of the interviews, but he didn't get final say.
Well, I think that you kind of.
I think the opposite's happening here. I think that he wants to have LeBron control, and I think that ownership is really dumb, and they're just doing. They're acting impulsively.
The GM stepped in here, I think,
and
said, "This is my boy. Let's stay with him."